This is Southeast Football and the John Mumford Show.
The John Mumford Show is brought to you in part by Drury Inn, McDowell Motors South, River Eagle Distributing, who bring you Budweiser, McDowell Motors Perryville, the Cape Girardeau Chamber of Commerce, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Kerber, Eck and Breckel, Shivelbines, Orthopedics Associates, Daniel Safety Management, Soskin Toyota, Farm Bureau Insurance Services of Poplar Bluff, and Plaza Tire.
Offense was the name of the game yesterday at Houck Stadium as the Southeast Missouri State Football Indians rolled up 568 yards of total offense en route to a big 45-38 win over the Panthers of Eastern Illinois. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Rush, and along my side, the head coach of the Football Indians, John Mumford. And, Coach, congratulations, your third straight win.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Certainly beats the first part of the season, and great group of young men are starting to make it happen and make the plays that need to be made, and certainly we made a bunch of them yesterday. Offense, defense, everything seems to be clicking for you guys right now. It did. I know that, I'm sure Coach Sabatini's not real happy with the number of yards passing, but the one thing that they're a throwing offense, and much similar to a rushing offense, they kind of just move you down the field in the controlled passing game. We really didn't let it get away from us and get a bunch over the head. So, it was a great game to be involved in, and a lot of twists and turns and little adjustments here and there. And third quarter, we came out and started giving things away. It was kind of a stressful period, but very proud of the way that our players bounced back and took control back of the game later in the third quarter and then the fourth quarter. Folks, tell you what, if this was a sub sandwich, it is packed full of highlights. Stay with us. You're watching The John Mumford Show. For the first weekend in November, Coach, you would think that it was really sometime in September. Great weather yesterday at Houck Stadium, and the two quarterbacks really lit up the air. They did, Chris. It was about 80 degrees or 78 degrees, unusual for this time of year. And, we had some guys at halftime. Brian Hinton cramping up. Rashad was he had some stomach problems. A few guys, Jonathan Jensen, had some stomach problems, too, at halftime. I don't know if it was, from what they ate or nervous or if it was the heat, and I think the Panthers experienced some of that too as well. So I thought our trainers did a good job. They kept everybody hydrated and full of Tiger water, and it was a good deal for us and kept everybody fresh in the game. Let's go ahead and roll into the highlights. We've got a lot of them here today, folks. As we said, a beautiful day. Indians start out on offense, and here's been the man of the hour the last three games. That's Rashad. We open up with quarterback draw just to try to slow their pass rush down, and I believe we knocked down their number 50, their linebacker there, and gave him a little headache. He did come back in the game, but good opening play and trying to keep him off of us, particularly on the passing game. And another man of the hour yesterday, there's Broderick Benson running very, very hard, good ball security, and gets about a 20-yard gain. And our fullbacks had close to 200 yards rushing yesterday, Chris. KD Koliosho hits it up on the off-tackle power with authority in there, and KD had about 50 or 60 yards rushing as well. So, we ran the ball very effectively, and this is the thing that just drives coordinators nuts is Rashad gets in there. That's a three-step drop. They lose contain on the corner, and he just trots in. And I think you notice right there, Leslie Weaver comes up, makes a block, and knocks one of their safeties out of the game with a dislocated elbow. So, good block at the goal line for the touchdown, and I thought our receiving core yesterday, their blocking downfield was outstanding. 8 plays, 65 yards in the first touchdown, and defense is playing well. Chad Williams, probably his best game of the year yesterday. Yep, Chad was very, very active yesterday, and it's been real good to have him back. Chad played for 2 years and went on a 2-year Mormon mission. And here we go on the toss, hit KD in there, and we stretch it out real nice, and then KD sticks his foot in the ground, plants, and drives it up, and I felt offensively up front, we kind of had our way with them most of the day. Here we run the counter pass, and good decision by Rashad to get out of bounds there. Somebody probably needs to help him slow down a little bit, stay away from the water cooler. But here he's going. We see blitz coming. He's going to make a check to the three-step game and just throw a quick little out. Great running here by Ricky Smith, and eludes the first tackler and picks up a big first down.
Rashad West, 11 of 17, 183 yards through the air, rushed 12 times for 94 yards. And folks, I want you to watch this pass coming up here. This is a thing of beauty coming up after this one.
We hit Leslie on the slip screen. Good running right there, and Coach Schottle was screaming, "Get outside!" all over the phones on that. And you know, we really like the way our receivers catch that screen and run it. We're going to come back here, and he's going to come back to Leslie, and you know, the coverage wasn't that bad on that one. He just threaded the needle, and great concentration by Leslie. Gerald Hewling was downfield and just pushed the guy out of the way, and you know, that's a big play. And you know, that play came on. We'd converted 2 third downs in a row, but had them both brought back because of penalties, and then hit that long pass for a touchdown, kind of broke their back.
62-yard touchdown, but right here, Eastern Illinois is going to get on the scoreboard themselves.
Yeah, we get up in there and we miss a few tackles, and you know, that was one of their you know, runs for a rush, and again they got down there throwing the ball. Here we come back with Cumberford, and he gets about 8 or 9 yards, and just watch it. Sometimes as fans, I think, Chris, it's real easy to just look in and watch where the ball goes. But just watch a line of scrimmage for 3 or 4 plays, and you'll see some things happening that, you know, we're just road grading people out of the way. Very elusive running, Ricky Smith there, and here Rashad's going to step up. He's going to run the football. Good job of breaking tackles and keeping his feet, and young man has tremendous balance.
Also, one thing a lot of people don't realize, Rashad breaking loose that many times downfield, good downfield blocking.
Excellent downfield blocking, and here we run the option. And Ricky just walks in, and again, very, very well blocked. Good decision by Rashad on the pitch. And I really like our offense right now. It's what we've been trying to do for 3 years, and we can do so many things to people, Chris, and we're starting to do everything pretty well right now.
Seth Carrier's going to kick the extra point right here. 21-7 the score. Coach, you got 3 drives now, all of them over 60 yards. The offense, the line, that's where you're talking about the domination up front.
Yep, and it's, you know, here you see it again. You see the good push, and you know, it's just 4 yards a click. And I believe yesterday, Chris, we averaged 8 yards a play offensively, which is tremendous. Here we're going to line up. We get stopped, and Seth Carrier boots a 42-yard field goal, very strong and accurate, and knocks it in there for us. It's good to have him back, and you know, I thought he kicked that one with a lot of authority.
Eastern Illinois gets a touchdown and a field goal as well. 17-24 the score right here. The Indians trying to put one in late before the end of the first half.
You can see that Rashad had a lot of time there, and you know, just did a nice job. You know, apparently there was great coverage downfield. Offensive line protected very well, and we, you know, we ended up, you know, allowing him to scramble. The offensive line picked up some good blocks. Big, I believe that was third down play to Andy Dunaway from Cape Central. And here we go on 3-step game again, and you know, Rashad's going to step up in the pocket, and he's going to find, I believe that's Leslie Weaver in there. So we're going down, we're in our spread formation right now, Chris. He's going to step up, and it's just going to be a walk in the end zone. And, you know, there's Weaver again getting another block and to spring him, and good decision on it. Very, very proud of our, again, wide receivers, you know, by nature, they want to just run down and catch the ball. I think Coach Munoz has done a great job with our guys instilling the belief that, hey, we have to be great blockers. And you're seeing how many times, and I think you're going to get a good shot of it right here. Rashad points him out, and you're going to see Weave just come in and screen him a little bit and nudge him. And that's all it took right there, and he's going to be in the end zone.
Indians go up at the half, 31-17. And, Coach, the offense has been just immaculate the last 3 weeks.
Well,
it's been awesome.
Yeah, it has, and you know, a large part of it Rashad's ability to take plays that aren't necessarily there and turn them into good ones. But I have to give a lot of credit, Chris. Our offensive line has done a tremendous job. Our running backs blocking has been excellent, and you know, it's just like we're sitting here in 3.5 years, 2.5 years, however long it's been since Coach Schottle got here. This is it. This is what we've been counting on, and man, it's a lot of fun when it starts to happen. And you know, we can get a lot of players that we can get their hands on the ball through the run game, the pass game, and the option game, and everybody has ownership in it. But again, I just can't say enough about our O-line. You know, even myself, I maligned them early in the year because of their performance, but here lately they've just been very dominant.
It's like we said last week, it all starts up front. Folks, we will take a timeout. More highlights to come up in the second half win of Indians' win over Eastern Illinois. Stay with us. You're watching The John Mumford Show. Indians will have off this Saturday. Next Saturday, they'll take on one of the top teams in the country, the Tigers of Tennessee State University. We'll talk more about that game coming up at 3 o'clock, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, November the 20th, in a couple of moments. Revisiting again with the head coach of the football Indians, John Mumford. Coach, you go in at the halftime, 31 points on the board. A lot of times, that's enough to win a football game, but late in the year, the offense seems to be catching up with the defense around the OVC.
It does, and I think if you look at scores all across the country, you see a lot of 60s and 50s out there, Chris. So, and you know, you see a lot of people doing it with quarterbacks like Rashad. That you know, a quarterback that's mobile like that can even up the numbers. You know, football is a cyclical game, and a lot of times, you know, you're starting to see more option come back in. But you know, now the defenses are starting to move safeties up as they become bigger and more mobile and give you 8 and 9 man fronts, and your quarterback has to be a guy that can do some things with the football other than just dish it off or pass it to people. So with a quarterback that's a threat to run either out of the pocket or on the option or on some sort of bootleg, I think you're starting to see a lot of offensive production this year in the 60s and 50s.
We go to the second half. Eastern Illinois starts a pretty decent drive, and then your defense shuts them down. They have to come in and attempt a field goal. This is going to be from 33 yards out.
I believe it's wide left, and you know, our defense had a couple great stops here early in the third quarter, and I was, you know, I was very frustrated in the third quarter right here because we were, you know, down on their end. We start stroking the ISO in there with KD, and you know, Chris, it was 8 and 9 yards, 10 yards a pop on just the ISO, and then the guy stripped KD and gave him field position, and you know, because of turnover, blocked punt and penalties, you know, we're down here on the field, and this is just, you know, we're going to block here, and that's entirely too long by our punter. You know, that it took him right there to punt the football. Protection was good enough, and you know, we got to get that corrected. And I'm not. Our punt team's been entirely too erratic this year, and it's a combination of both protection, snap being good, and also the punter doing his job as well. So we're going to have to get that rectified against Tennessee State, because they'll certainly have the juice coming after the punts. Again, you see our defense. There's John Smith on a tackle, and you know, the guys' defense continues to play with a lot of pride, and it's hard for people to run it. You see the quarterback here, he just holds the ball forever. Great deceptive play, and they cross the wing. On the goal line, a lot of times the real effective play is to run your tight ends or your wings crossing in the middle, because you get a lot of man coverage, and play action fake was excellent on there, and they made it look easy. Here's Broderick Benson on the fullback play. He gets about 2 or 3 hard-earned yards, and down in this area of the field, we want to make sure that we do take care of the football and you know, try to punch it out of there. Going to run the counter pass and throw the ball a little bit behind John Bourne, I believe. And again, we try to get Rashad out on the perimeter to give him the option to run or pass. Little play action right here, and Rashad's going to take it down and run it. And I believe we're going to get a first down out of it. Much needed first down out of that part of the field.
Tell you what, Coach, right after that last score, we saw the scoreboard, 31 apiece. Your team comes right back on 6 plays, scored the touchdown, 38-31, and this right here is the backbreaker.
That is, and you saw, you know, I told Broderick, I said I got to give 3 of those points to Sturge, because he had a hold of Sturge's pads, and he got kind of tripped up, helped pull himself up right there, and made a great run, and I'm very happy for Broderick Benson. He hasn't run the ball as much as he has in the past, but his blocking has just been phenomenal here in the later part of the season, and you know, he's been a total team player for us. And very, very happy. He had to hit the oxygen tank after that run, I think. It was a long one for him.
Broderick Benson, 7 carries, 125 yards. I believe that's probably his career best at Southeast Missouri. And as you can see right here, Eastern Illinois had to start bombing away down by 14 points. And then a big fumble late in the game.
Yep, big fumble there gives us the ball back. And again, that's just, you know, our defensive players play with a lot of confidence, Chris. And I got to give Anthony Buick a lot of credit. That kid, we had him halfway down, had people in his face, and the kid still threw completions, and it was very, very impressive. I talked to him after the game, and he's a big kid, and you know, we talked walking off the field. He said, "Coach, I think I could have got you if I had a few more minutes," and I said, "Well, you're not getting them today." And so really a class act. And I thought this was a questionable touchdown because the ball did cross the line, but I thought his feet were already out of bounds, and really wasn't happy with the back judge and the guy back on that part of the end zone. I thought there were some questionable calls by what I've seen on film review, but we kind of got into that entirely too much. We had a bench warning yesterday, and you know, we had some guys who don't play much and end up trying to talk, and you know, we don't have any room for that. We got to go out there and be productive and do our job. And here's Rashad on the bootleg, and I think this is getting kind of near the end of the game. We're going to call timeout and run one last play to make sure we're all on the same page and get it done. I just a lot of great things happened yesterday. I was real proud of the way our kids kept coming back, the way our defense hung in there. We had entirely too many penalties, got caught up in some unsportsmanlike stuff, and you know, they kind of started it coming right out of the locker room and caught some of our guys up in it. I wasn't very pleased with that at all. But the penalties have to go, and then our punting game, block punting, and that little phase right there in the third quarter where we just were out of sync. We were very, very fortunate, I think. Very, very fortunate that we were able to, you know, keep coming back offensively and make things happen. But we're still not a team, and there's not a team in college football that can give away plays and through penalties and through turnovers, and we have to, you know, take better care of the ball and play our game. Don't get caught up or baited into anything else with the opposing team.
Team kind of coming of age here.
Yeah, it's man, they're a great group of kids. I've said that all along, even through the thin days, and I'm very proud. They're very courageous. I've got to say that our senior leadership right now has been excellent, because when you go into a season and you're 0-7 and you're going through something like that, your seniors are probably the ones that are the most frustrated. And I'm not going to say they weren't frustrated, but if they were men about it. They held it in there, and they just kept plugging along. And you know, I think Rashad's emergence has been big for us in there, and he's got the type of ability and the personality where when he steps on the field, I think there's a lot of respect on both sides of the football, certainly within his own teammates, and young man can certainly make things happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, that young man, Rashad West, is going to be the point of our Indian feature this week. He'll join us next on the set. Stay with us. You're watching The John Mumford Show. One of the brightest stars to come along in quite a while at Southeast Missouri State University is the man sitting next to me right now. He is Rashad West, the quarterback of the Football Indians. And Rashad, congratulations. You guys are on a roll right now, 3 in a row.
Feels good to get a victory, especially contribute to the victory. We're trying to look at the season as we're 3-0 right now. We want to make it 4-0 after this off week against Tennessee State and just close out the season on a winning note.
Tell you what, that would be a great way to do it. Let's give the folks a little bit of background on Rashad. Rashad went to Brandon High School went to
Southeast High School.
Southeast High School in Florida, and a guy that you played football with down there is trying for a Heisman Trophy right now.
Yes. When I was a sophomore, I was on the team with Peter Ward. He plays receiver at Florida State right now, and Bradenton at Southeast High School. We're pretty good friends. I see him off and on when I go home, and I conversate with him.
Tell you what, after high school, you went up to Hofstra University in Long Island, New York, and then you made your way to Southeast Missouri State. And originally, I think they brought you here as a receiver. Is that right?
No, I came to play quarterback, but I wasn't getting many snaps, so the coaches were trying to get the best athletes on the field, so I was converted to play receiver just to help the team out and wait for my time to get a chance to play quarterback, and it finally come around. And guess I'm showing what I can do right now. I'm trying to, at least.
Tell you what, I know that you're pretty close with the offensive linemen. I could see that from being on the sidelines a couple of games this year. Whenever they give you some protection, you go over there and let them know about it.
Oh, yeah. Without the offensive line, the offense wouldn't be much of anything. Like Coach was saying, they kind of maligned them earlier in the year, but right now they're playing great. Without them, wouldn't be able to talk about these 3 victories in a row.
Tell you what, we'll talk about the receivers here in just a moment, but also the guys in the backfield. As long as you got the running game going, that's going to keep the linebackers off of you.
Oh, yeah, that's been tremendous also. The line's been paving holes for the backs to run through, and yesterday I didn't do too much of anything in the second half. I just handed it off and watched them run, so that was great for me.
Rashad, you got some speedy wide receivers. You hit a big 62-yard bomb yesterday to Leslie Weaver. That's got to be a great feeling.
Oh, yeah. I love to throw touchdowns, actually more than running them, but I take it any way it comes. And we have big play guys, whether it's catching the ball or blocking downfield, as we saw on the tape. So it's just exciting to see we get a touchdown pass.
A couple of the things that I want you to try to explain to some folks is whenever you get some pressure around you, do you feel the pressure? Do you have that little clock in your head going off saying, hey, I better get rid of this ball? Or you have that vision? What's the sense for you back there?
You can feel it, you can sense the pressure actually, but some of the things that I do back there, I have no clue where it comes from. I just react naturally and let my God-given athletic ability make the play for me. But
now, Rashad, you're a mass communications major, wanting to get into radio television?
Yeah, that's what I plan to do after I graduate from Semo. Who knows how that'll go.
I'll tell you what, 2 more years, the guy's probably going to be sitting in this chair in 3 years. Never know, huh?
That'd be great.
Oh, okay. Get out of here. No, Rashad West, quarterback of the Southeast Missouri State Football Indians. Pal, good luck 2 weeks from today against Tennessee State. We'll be back with John Mumford and talk to him about the week off for the Indians and also the big game coming up November the 20th at Houck Stadium against nationally ranked TSU. Stay with us. You're watching The John Mumford Show. Two weeks from today, the Indians will take on the Tigers of Tennessee State University. Coach, one of the best teams in the country. It might be one of the highest touted teams ever to play at Houck Stadium.
I believe it's going to be. They're number 2 in the country and leading the OVC. They won 25-17 or 19 against Tennessee Tech, and I thought Tennessee Tech would give them a strong showing because of their defense, Chris. And you know, that's probably one of the teams or the team that's played Tennessee State the closest this year. So the Perkins kid is playing quarterback now, stepped in, done a tremendous job, and I think that you know, we look forward to, I think we've started a little something here with our football team, and you know, we always talk about wanting to run with the big dogs. Now we got to see if we get off the porch and if we got any bite to us.
Good situation here. You've got a week off to prepare. Charles Sabatini, your defensive coordinator, he's got to look forward to this, I think, as well.
Well, I don't know.
In a good way.
In a good way.
I want my shot at him.
We all do. I mean, Coach Sabatini does, but we all do as coaches and players. And I think that you know, it's going to be televised, so there's some novelty and exposure for this game. We want to make a darn good showing and finish this thing out like Rashad alluded to earlier, 4-0.
Tell you what, folks, we hope to see you there November 20th. It is going to be a show at Houck Stadium. 3 o'clock is game time. We'll be back here next Sunday night, right here on KBSI. For John Mumford, I'm Chris Rush, and thanks for watching The John Mumford Show.